Hi friends, I'm here to do another read aloud for this week, and our story for today is called Friends and Flowers from A.R. MyON.
Friends and Flowers by Jessica Gunderson, illustrated by Corey Deerfeld.
All right, here we go, boys and girls, with Friends and Flowers. Lindsay's best friend Julia lived next door. Julia's garden was Lindsay's favorite place in the whole world. It bloomed with every flower Lindsay could name. Lindsay loved the tulips the most. They blossomed each spring. One day, Julia had bad news. "I'm moving away," Julia told Lindsay. Lindsay wondered what she would do without her best friend. She couldn't imagine a day without Julia. On a gray October day, Julia's family loaded the moving truck. "I'm going to miss you," Lindsay said. "I have a gift for you," Julia said. She held out a round bulb that looked like a small onion. "What is it?" Lindsay asked. "It's a tulip bulb," Julia said. "Plant it in your garden, and every year you'll have a flower to remember me by." "I'll remember our tea parties in the garden," Lindsay promised. "Don't forget our lily hats," Julia said. "Or our petunia necklaces," Lindsay added, laughing. But when Julia was gone, Lindsay did not feel like laughing anymore. "How will I ever find another friend like Julia?" Lindsay asked her mother. "Well, you won't find another one exactly like Julia," Mom said. "But you will make new friends." "When?" Lindsay asked. Mom smiled and looked at the tulip bulb in Lindsay's hand. "By the time your tulip blooms, you will have a new friend," Mom said. Lindsay wanted to keep the bulb beside her bed so she could remember Julia, but her mother disagreed. "We have to plant it before winter," Mom said. "Won't the bulb freeze when it snows?" Lindsay asked. "No, the cold weather helps the flower bud grow," Mom explained. "But we must watch for rabbits and squirrels. They like to dig up bulbs to eat." Lindsay chose a sunny corner of the garden to plant the bulb. She planted it near her mother's rose bushes. Lindsay dug a hole in the soil. She used a deep ruler to make sure it was about 6 inches deep. She placed the bulb inside. "Make sure the pointed end faces up," Mom said. "The roots grow from the other end." Lindsay patted the loose soil over the bulb. "Now grow," she said to the ground. "The tulip won't bloom until spring," Mom laughed. But spring was months away. Would it really take that long for the flower to bloom? Would it really take that long to make a new friend? One day, while she was raking leaves, Lindsay heard a strange noise. She stood still and listened. It wasn't the wind. The sound was coming from the garden. Lindsay tiptoed toward the garden, and she saw a little pink nose behind a rose bush. She saw a fuzzy body and a snowball-shaped tail. White ears pointed to the sky. What is it? A rabbit. Lindsay's heart pounded. She had to do something. The rabbit would eat her tulip bulb. "Go away," Lindsay yelled. "Go eat a carrot. Stay away from my tulip." But the rabbit just looked at her. It did not hop away. It did not even move. "Please don't eat my tulip," Lindsay begged. Still the rabbit did not move. The rabbit hopped around the garden. Its pink nose wrinkled as it smelled the ground. "Shoo!" cried Lindsay, as she took a step toward it. Finally the rabbit jumped away, but Lindsay knew it would be back again. My tulip's in trouble, she said. That evening, Lindsay told her mother, "Rabbits are going to eat my tulip." "We can use a mix of hot pepper sauce and water to keep it away," Mom said. "Because the mix is natural, it won't hurt the animals." The next day, Lindsay and her mom sprayed the hot pepper sauce mix on the soil. "How will this keep the rabbits away?" Lindsay asked. "Hot pepper sauce is very spicy. Rabbits and squirrels don't like the taste of it," Mom said. Every day that winter, Lindsay checked her bulb. No rabbits bothered it. Lindsay couldn't wait for her tulip to grow. But the tulip was already growing. After Lindsay had planted the bulb, the tulip had started to grow. Under the ground, roots spread from the bulb, and once winter came, the bulb stopped growing and just waited for spring. In April, the sun warmed the ground and grass peeked through the soil. The house next door was still empty, but tiny purple flowers dotted the garden. Lindsay remembered the good times she had shared with Julia in that garden. "Still haven't found a friend like Julia," Lindsay told her mother. "Be patient," Mom said. "Your tulip hasn't sprouted yet." The next day, Lindsay walked to the garden. As she neared her tulip, she saw a thin green sprout. Her tulip was growing! For the next 12 days, Lindsay went outside daily to check on her plant. The sprout grew a bit taller each day. And on the 12th day, Lindsay saw a small bud on the tip of the stem. Her tulip was about to bloom. The next morning, Lindsay heard sounds coming from next door. She saw a big orange truck in the driveway. A new family was finally moving in. A girl about her age stood in Julia's old yard. Lindsay waved, and the girl waved back. "Is that your flower?" the girl asked. She pointed to Lindsay's tulip. Lindsay turned and saw that a red tulip had opened its petals wide. The girl ran over to Lindsay's new red tulip. "That tulip is really amazing," she said. "I love flowers." "I do too," said Lindsay. The two girls sat in the grass. Lindsay smiled. Her tulip finally bloomed, and it seemed a new friendship was blooming too. So at the very bottom of the page there's the life cycle of a bulb, where the bulb is planted on day 1. The roots start to grow about day 30. The sprout starts to appear day 180. It takes about 6 months for that to happen, boys and girls. And then the bud appears on day 205. That's 6 3/4 months. And then the flower blooms on day 212, 7 months. There's also an activity there for growing bulbs indoors. It lists all the items you need and the directions on how to grow those bulbs indoors. So you might want to do that this week with a family member. Thanks for listening, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye.